Hey there, welcome to another Photoshop tutorial from tutcast.com. The other day I was at Publix looking through the magazine section and this magazine caught my eye. It's Go Magazine with Zac Efron, and I noticed that his head is incredibly large, which kind of makes me wonder about other parts of his body, but let's not go there. Anyways, it's obviously photoshopped, but it's photoshopped a little bit too much if you ask me. So my fiance turned to me and said, "Hey, why don't you teach people how to enlarge someone's head in Photoshop?" So I turned to her and said, "Hey, it's not the only thing I'll teach people how to enlarge." These jokes just get worse and worse. Just bear with me. Anyway, I'm going to teach you how to enlarge someone's head in Photoshop. And I thought because this individual, Chris Brown, thinks he has a massive head, I'm going to enlarge his head in Photoshop. So let's begin. It's actually a pretty simple process which can be done in a few ways, but you have to have certain photos. Only certain photos will work. And I decided to choose a male model, or a male woman beater, because it's a lot easier on the hair. There's not much hair to select. I'll probably do a tutorial later on on how to select female hair. It's a lot more complicated, but let's begin. You have to choose which selection method you want to start with. For this example, I'm going to be using the pen tool, and I'm going to make sure that paths is checked at the top, right over there. But you can use any selection method you want. You can use the lasso tool, the pen tool, the quick mask tool, completely up to you. It's all about personal preference. So I'm going to go ahead and make the selection of his head and his jawline. I'm going to leave out the neck area right in there. So I'm going to begin, and I will see you once I've made the selection. So here we go. I've completed my path, and to make a selection from the path, I'm going to right click on the path and then click on Make Selection. I'm going to choose a feather radius of 1. Depending on the size of your picture, you may have to go a little bit higher or stick to around 1 just to smooth out the edges a little bit, and then click OK. And there we have our selection. And from here, it's actually very simple. I'm going to hold down Command or Control and press T to bring up our transform tools. And going to the bottom right hand corner, I'm going to hold down Alt or Option and Shift and drag outwards. This is going to enlarge your selection from the center, constraining the proportions. So I'm going to enlarge it right to around there and then press Enter. That will complete the selection. And with the selection still active, we're going to go to Layer, New, Layer via Cut. That will separate the selection from the actual background layer, as you can see here, allowing us to edit both layers individually, just like this. And what I like to do now is like to grab the background layer, grab something like the burn tool, and burn the area right underneath the head, just to give it a little bit of depth, to make it look a little bit more realistic. Just like that, we can grab the midtones, burn those a little bit, and it just gives a little bit of depth, as you can see there. Looks a little bit more realistic. So there we go, we've enlarged someone's head in Photoshop. It's actually a pretty simple method. You can do it with most photos. It's a little bit more difficult with female models, but it can be done as well. Here's the original, and here is the new. It's a pretty decent result. And that's it. Hope you learned something from this tutorial, and until next time, this is Howard from tutcast.com. Take care.